Sup YouTube, it's Zacian TCG here and welcome back to our TCG video on my channel. Today we're actually checking out some post-rotation content. People have been asking me this a lot over on Twitter, so that's exactly what we're going to be doing here in this video. So if you're eager to see which decks are actually going to be good after rotation, then this is a video for you. But first of all, be of course sure to hit that subscribe button. If you're new to the channel, you're going to get more Pokemon TCG content on a daily basis. And if you like what you see, feel free to leave a like. It only takes one tiny second of your time. So Japan is already playing the post-rotation format. They already have access to cards that we do not have. We are getting a set in March. At the end of March, we're gonna get the set Journey Together, which actually comes with owners Pokemon. Think about stuff like Ens, Zoroark EX, Hops, Zacian EX. All those cool Pokemon will be added into the format, but there will be a huge rotation happening, and that actually means that cards like Regidrago VSTAR, Lugia VSTAR, the entire Lost Box deck will all rotate out of the standard format. And people are actually a little bit scared because some people have just stepped into the game and they are afraid that their favorite deck is going to be gone and they don't know what to play afterwards and which decks you need to invest in for post-rotation. This is going to be a video for you, so let's dive into it right from the get-go here. With the first tournament over in Tokyo, that actually was played today, we see here a very unique Charizard list. There is a little bit of crazy stuff that we have not seen before. Think about that Lily's Clefairy EX, which actually turns every Dragon type's Pokemon into ×2 weakness of Psychic. And there's also a Psychic Energy in this. This is a basic Pokemon, so you can actually use this and you're slapping more damage depending on both bench sizes. Very great against stuff like Dragapult EX, which has been a very strong card even after rotation. So there's still some Dragon-type Pokemon around, and you can also use this against stuff like, for example, Raging Bolt. Other than that, it does seem pretty reasonable. We are using Cleffa, no more Rotom V, unfortunately, no more Forest Sealstone. There's also an Energy Search in this deck, and we see Morty's Conviction as a supporter, Jacques as a supporter, so a little bit crazy supporters that are thrown in here on top of the Iono and Arven, but it does provide you with some additional options. And there's also a cool looking new card here. And that's actually Lily's Pearl. If the Lily's Pokemon this card is attached to is knocked out by damage, the opponent takes one fewer prize card. So if they don't have any way to deal with that, so this actually is a tool card. So if they don't have anything like a Jamming Tower, Lost Vacuum has rotated, by the way. So if they don't have Jamming Tower, they're gonna be dealing with a one prize Clefairy. So that's gonna be super cool for sure. This Charizard deck actually got first place. Then we see Ens Zoroark EX. This is a very cool one. We have not talked about Ens Zoroark EX at all. This actually is very similar to the one from Shining Legends, with the same trade ability. Discard a card from the hand and then you draw 2 cards. The list also comes back with other Pokemon in there like Ens Reshiram, as well as the Ens Darmanitan. I'm a pretty big fan of Ens Darmanitan, as it reminds me of Radiant Greninja with the sniping capability. So if you have no clue what it does, you discard all the energies and you slap 90 damage and then 90 damage to another Pokemon. And with Reversal Energy, you can get that off instantly. So you let yourself fall behind and then you can rely on Ens Darmanitan. Another cool thing is that we do have the Stadium Ens Castle. All the Ens Pokemon have free retreat. And there is, of course, Zoroark, as we talked about here, not only being able to draw cards, but you can choose one of your benched Ens Pokemons and use it as this attack, which also means that the Reshiram here, you can use 20 damage for every damage counter on this Pokemon. And Zoroark EX has 280 HP, turning that into quite a ridiculously tanky Pokemon. And if they don't knock you out in one shot, you can copy-paste the attacks with the Knight. With the attack that it comes back with. So that's actually super cool. What else do we see there? There's a Maximum Belt thrown up in this deck, as well as Defiance Band, so buffing up your damage output. Budu also part of the plan, and the Ens PP up, allowing you to actually accelerate a basic energy from the discard pile to one of your benched Ens Pokemon. So and Zoroark getting second place. So there's going to be an archetype that's going to be performing quite well, I had to think. Definitely because they are printing a lot of crazy things. We see Dragapult EX with Dusknoir. This is very similar to the stuff we're currently playing. and it does come back with the Badu, so not a lot has changed. This deck will still be strong after rotation. You now have some Artisan, even EXP share thrown up in the list, but not a lot of crazy stuff that we have not seen quite yet of this archetype. So strong going forward. So if you want to be investing into the game, that's going to be one to take a look at. This is a very cool one. It's going to be Feraligator. This is a very fantastic card. It actually allows you to put 5 damage counter on this Pokemon. If you do, the attacks do 120 more damage and you're slapping 160, which means you're slapping 280 damage. That's actually a very ridiculous number for me personally. The V-Stars have rotated, but there's still some EXs out there that do come back with that number, and that's going to be interesting. Definitely stage 1 EXs. You have the Relicanth, which allows you to use attacks like the one from the Totodile, so the opponent cannot retreat. There's also a way you can switch around to use that attack. So the Relicanth actually is going to be actually quite a must in the deck. Sometimes that can allow you to just slap a little bit for more damage, and that's going to be a cool one, using Grand Tree, using Colorless Tenacity, and it has been played by a couple of people already, so to some decent success. I wonder if it's just a meme deck or it's going to actually be good. You have Lana's 8 to help recover your Pokemon, and the Grand Tree stitches it all together here. You slowly evolve the rest, try to go wide on the board. We have access to stuff like Artisan, and the Luxurious Cape will put the Feraligator into quite the ridiculous 2-price monster. So yeah, I'm very curious to see how this deck will develop moving forward. Okay, then in Kyoto was actually won by Feraligator with Monkey Dory. So the cool thing is that with Monkey Dory, you damage yourself, but you can put the damage onto the opponent. So the combination between those two works really well. You have the Colorless Tenacity again to get that Grand Tree up, to get your Feraligators ASAP, and even Luxurious Cape again to put these Feraligators to some ridiculous numbers. You put them to 280 HP. And with the very crazy amount of Arven you can find, of course, your Luxurious Cape. So this actually is a cool deck. Also comes back with Mimikyu, by the way. Raging Bolt still around. This time around, it actually uses the Noctowl engine, and there's no longer Radiant Greninja, no longer Pokestop. So Noctowl stitches the deck together to get any card you want. You do need some Ogrepons in play, which are the Terra Pokemon, which allow you to use Jewel Seeker of the Noctowl. And we do see Crispin joining the party, Briar joining the party, Areas there under depth so you can go crazy, and Fan Rotom. The cool thing is now you can hit Fan Rotom for 70 damage if you want to knock out a weak HP evolving Pokemon. Okay, what else? There is a Charizard deck. We've seen a deck like this before, but this actually is playing Incineroar, a 1/1/1 line. And it's actually so funny because you're actually using TM Evo to get your stuff going, as you can see here with Jamming Tower in there as well. But you TM Evo yourself into a Pokemon you want. Incineroar actually slaps 240 damage, and the opponent's active is also burned. So, and it uses 1 energy less for each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So they added in Incineroar. Crazy. I don't know how good Incineroar actually is, but it seems like you're clunking up your deck that way. Moving forward, there is a Hops Zacian deck. This is cool. Hops Zacian is actually one of those cards that I'm looking forward to because it's very similar to Boss Rock back before it. You come back with the Snorlax here. It allows you for your Hops Pokemon to do 30 more damage to your opponent's active. And it also comes back with the Hops Choice Band, allowing you to slap 30 more damage. So that's 60 as a buff. And then there's also this Stadium card, so you can slap 30 more. So that's 90 additional damage to add up on the Zacian, which slaps 30 to the active and 30 to one of the bench Pokemon. So it's going to be very, very crazy where you're able to slap 120 for just a single energy. There's even the Cramorant, which you can use if the opponent has that exactly 3 or 4 prize cards. So in combo with the Archaludon. Archaludon actually powers up the Zacian, and the Zacian actually is then able to one-shot anything in existence. So the combination between those two, it does seem like another strong deck joining the format here in the post-rotation format. I'm eagerly looking forward to some more results. The next one is won by Raging Bolt. Believe it or not, Raging Bolt is going nowhere. So if you thought the Raging Bolt streak was over, think again. Cards like Switch Card have rotated. Cards like Snorlax Block have rotated. So you don't have to be afraid to just go only with Latias EX as your switch out. All the rest are, it's not an issue anymore. You also have the Prime Catcher to get out of tough spots. Most of these Raging Bolt players are also attacking the Cornerstone Ogerpon. It does seem like a great way to wall off Pokemon with abilities, and you have an option to just get anything from the deck with the help of Noctowl. So that's cool. We see a very funky Goldango Dragapult list getting second place. So you rely upon Goldango to just go one shot, and there's also a way you can go Dragapult. So it does give yourself some flexibility against specific matchups. You get out Dragapult, and the other one you get out Goldango. Again, TM Evo is going to be very strong in that post-rotation format. There is going to be a wall deck, Iron Thorns, Feraligator, Milotic, Mimikyu, Cornerstone, all the walling Pokemon you can dream of, all in one deck, a bunch of pennies, scoop up Cyclone. What else can you want from a deck like this? This also is coming packed with, you might think, oh, Mist Energy, isn't that rotated? It actually came out in Temporal Forces, so a lot of special energies have rotated though. Think about the Gift Energy, for example, DTE, so most of these are removed, but this looks pretty neat. You wall off anything, and you even have Iron Thorns to shut down abilities, so yeah, a wall deck, getting third place. There is going to be an Iono's Bellibolt EX. This is a very funky Pokemon. Iono's Bellibolt is definitely an interesting deck as it comes packed with energy acceleration as often as you like. During your turn, you may attach a basic lightning energy from your hand to one of your Iono's Pokemon. So that's going to be an extra way. You get tons and tons of energies into play. And there's also draw power if you if this guy actually... If you accelerated energy, that's what it was, right? You may use his ability once during your turn. You may discard a basic energy from this Pokemon, then draw cards until you have 6 in hand. So you have a draw engine. So Iono's Bellibolt in combination with Raging Bolt to just go for the crazy one-shots. That's going to be the deck. There's also the new Stadium card allowing you to put 2 basic lightning energies from the discard pile instantly in your hand. So you one-shot something with Raging Bolt, you get the lightning energies back, you re-accelerate them because of the ability of Iono's Bellibolt. So it's pretty much like Rain Dance, or maybe more recently a Super Call of a Baxcalibur, but then for lightning type Pokemon. Also a Magearna joins the party. Whenever you attach an energy from your hand to one of your Pokemon, heal 90 damage from it, if it's in the active spot. So you can also heal a ton of damage. Very, very crazy indeed. Alright, we're only checking out the top 4 currently. I'm just going to be checking out some more tournaments. Charizard, Pidgeot still doing well. It seems like Dusknoir and Pidgeot and Charizard, like almost the entire core of the deck is still there. Precious Trolley in combination with TM Evo seems to be a very strong strategy for sure. Iron Thorns Dragapult is already good currently. Now comes back with the Clefairy right there. And the Clefairy, as mentioned, is going to be a way you can deal with other Dragon type Pokemon, other Dragapults, other Raging Bolts. So Clefairy is going to be a very great tech. It's going to be the easiest way to deal with Dragapults. The Lily's Clefairy is going to be seen more play. Okay, then we have a very cool looking Diplin deck. This Diplin deck comes back with some Robska because of Dragapult EX still being in the format. It's cool that Regidrago VSTAR has been rotated, so you don't have to worry about that any longer. Festival Grounds. I wonder if this actually will be good or just a meme. Gardevoir is still around. You might think, where are the refinement Curlios? They have rotated, but the deck now actually plays a very unique way. You play Brilliant Blender to get those energies in the discard pile, and you do compact with TM Evo still, but you play more on the fact that you just use Brilliant Blender to get energies in the discard pile, so you don't need to refine too much. And then you still have access to Screamtail, Drifloon, all the good stuff you were previously rocking with. But you do have to play Phasantipity. If you go down, you do draw some cards. So Gardevoir still survives, funny enough, without the refinement. Then there is an Kanagawa tournament. A Raging Bolt, also playing the Great Tusk EX. This one actually is interesting. If this Pokemon is in the active spot, you must discard the top 5 cards of your deck. Sometimes that can be really detrimental, but you can also use, of course, Sada onto your Great Tusk. And Great Tusk has great numbers, that's what it is. 260 damage output and 250 HP as well. Also goes through any effect, so if you're dealing with a bunch of Mimikyus, that could also be a thing. Although I don't even know why you would need that, as you're also playing Fan Rotom. So yeah, Latias EX seems to be in a lot of these Raging Bolts. Okay, we see Ceruledge EX with Hobbs Dubwool. If you evolve into Hobbs Dubwool, you can actually have Balsa's Orders. That's right, Bloodthirsty Eyes has returned to the format. And we also are going to be playing Munkidori. So it's a Ceruledge deck with extra gusting. Pretty much that's what it is. After rotation, you no longer have access to Pokestop, no longer have access to Radiant Greninja, but you have the Brilliant Blender still, and the deck is just doing fine. What else do we have is a Dragapult EX Xatu deck with the Lily's Clefairy in there, as mentioned, very great against opposing Dragon-type Pokemon. You also have that Lily's Pearl, which will reduce prizes that the opponent can take if they knock out a Pokemon. It's actually reduced by 1 fewer card, so definitely in combination with an Unfair Stamp, seems like a very powerful combo post-rotation. Then another Raging Bolt finish it off, so if you're playing Raging Bolt currently, if you're just new to the game, don't worry. Yeah, the deck is going to be fine. Just stack up on some Noctals and you'll be good to go. Miyagi, a bunch of Raging Bolts doing well. We're not going to be checking those again. They're going to be a Goldango Scissor deck. You're going to have Tatsugiri to fetch supporters. Cards like Cypher Maniac is still there, but it's an Arven engine allowing you to TM Evo and to double Goldango. And you also can get, that's why there's 2 Lightning Energies in the deck. You can get them back easily with the Stadium cards, so you don't have to burn all those superior energy retrievals. So very cool indeed, but with Budoos in the list, I see a little bit less amount of Budoo. There's in Tokyo, Raging Bolt winning, and Dragapult Dusknoir. So those seem to be very popular as of late. There's another tournament in Tokyo where Charizard Noctowl Terapagos was able to take it down. All these cards are rotation proof, and it makes sense. These are all powerful cards. I have been facing a deck like this recently in a cup, so it felt strong already, but you do lose a couple of cards, but like the DTE for example, but you can still power up Terapagos with the help of the Infernal Rain of the Charizard EX. Even Mela could help out with something like this. I think it's an interesting deck moving forward, and with Dusknoir still in the format, it's going to be scary because you can allow you to get random Briar plays. Charizard, Noctowl, but then with a Clefairy in there. Clefairy, yeah, the tech card against Dragapult, it seems. Also, Raging Bolt is still popular, so that's nice. We also see again, yeah, the Hobbs, Zacian, and Archaludon have found each other, partners in crime, Secret Box as the ace-pack card of choice. Then in Kyoto, we see a Dragapult finals, and that actually was played with a Xatu engine to power yourself up. As mentioned, cards like Rotom V, Forest Steel Stone, Lumineon, all of those are gone. So if you want to have a little bit of consistency, the Xatu can really help out, even though Dracloak by itself already draws cards. So there's ace-pack card, Secret Box. Not too sure if Secret Box is the correct one. I think Sparkling Crystal is, in my opinion, always the better choice for a Dragapult EX deck. And yeah, the second place finish here actually agrees with me. Jacques, also a nice way to find more evolution Pokemon. There is the Budoo, which allows you to just item lock the opponent. And I personally feel like, yeah, Dragapult is definitely gonna go miles. Okay, here we have a Toedscruel EX deck. Also coming packed with Legacy Energy. Funny enough to turn the Toedscruel into one prizer. And it's going to be playing with a lot of E-switches. So you can use Steel Dance, then get the energy to the Toedscruel. Also with the Toedscruel here, preventing the opponent from getting cards from the discard pile, which is actually very nasty. And yeah, Toedscruel, believe it or not, 4th place indeed. Okayama, let's see, Charizard and Dragapult. Still, Charizard and Dragapult are doing great. There's also an unreleased Tapu Koko, by the way, which we have not have access to yet. 60 damage plus 20 more for each of your bench Pokemon. A Lightning type Pokemon, being able to, of course, punish Pokemon that are weak to Lightning, like opposing Pidgeot EXs. And yeah, playing the Briar, playing the Dusknoir, so Charizard's still fine. Dragapult also still fine, so they are doing currently super well in the format, and they will continue to do so in the post rotation. So it's not the scariest rotation ever, by the way. You might think, oh, Radiant Greninja is gone, all that stuff, but nothing less is true. It seems that most of the decks are still having their consistency. Okay, a Tyranitar that actually, as long as this Pokemon is in the active spot, your opponent can play item cards. So you lead with Budew and then go with Grand Tree into Tyranitar, and then with that they are item locked, and they continue to be item locked for the rest of the game. That's pretty much the deck. You also have Luxurious Escape to turn this Tyranitar into 290 HP. This is the second time I've actually seen a super unique way to use Luxurious Escape. We've seen it before in the Feraligator deck. Okay, where were we? We have Kanagawa with an Aegislash deck. Aegislash is a card that I haven't seen too much of in this current format. The reason for that is that there's Canceling Cologne, and most decks can actually pilot that. That's also the reason why we're going to be seeing more Milotic later up in this video, because stuff like Canceling Cologne are gone, and a lot of these powerful decks are actually EX based decks. So Aegislash, same ability as Mimikyu, not being able to get touched by EXs, very strong. And there's also the Aegislash EX for some power swooping in the late game. We have Luxurious Escape, the Grand Tree. I've made a video about this before, like I think 2 formats ago. It wasn't too well because lots of people actually had those one price Pokemon, but if the format is focused on EXs, you're gonna have a great time with Aegislash. There is a Revavroom, a nice way to draw with discarding an energy draw up to 6. We have Ceruledge, Munkidori, and the Brilliant Blender seem to be the perfect partners for the... oh, there's a Slacking in here. Okay, Slacking deck with Terrapagos. With Maximum Belt, could hit the numbers for sure. You also come back with Glass Trumpet and E-Switch, so oof. This is a very spicy list for sure. Definitely with E-Switch you can get that Ogerpon stuff out as well. And there is also this one. This Pokemon, this card is in the active spot and is damaged. They take 2 damage counters, so you can make a very... I love the creativity of the person piloting that cool deck. Back to Tokyo, where Raging Bolt did crazy stuff, as well as Dragapult. So the conclusion is there, right? Dragapult, Raging Bolt, and Charizard are still good after rotation, so you don't have to worry about, oh, I need to buy a crazy amount of new cards. That is not true. Flareon EX made it all the way into the first place in a tournament here. Flareon EX, this is actually something we've tested out recently on the channel, an Evolution deck with the Glass Trumpet, with the Fan Rotom, with all that. It seems strong in theory. You also boost your damage output up with the Victini, so the Flareon actually able to hit for a whopping 300 damage output, and with the Gravity Mount, that is enough to take down Dragapult EX and Charizard EX. So super unique deck building skills from this Japanese player. Then in Tokyo again, Dragapult and Charizard, why not combine the two and just slap them all into one deck? Nothing we've seen before. Yeah, we've seen this before, so it's not the craziest idea ever. Then a bunch of Raging Bolts. Raging Bolt did really well. Not too many amount of people playing Gardevoir after rotation. I think they still need to adapt a little bit, but there is a lot of Dragapult and a Raging Bolt. Again, Goldango with a Dragapult has been played before, so people are testing this out. There is going to be a Frostlass Budew deck with Hops Zacian in there, okay. That allows you to make sure you can just swoop opponents. You just item lock and then try to knock out or take multiple prize cards. As soon as the Frostlass drops down the HP, then the Hop Station can finish the job and take multiple prizes. Same story. You can also sop opponents with the Ogerpon right there. Unique stuff indeed. There's also the Iris's Fighting Spirit. Draw cards until you have 6 cards in hand. You can use this card only if discard a card from hand. So another way to draw cards. There's TM Devo, Frostlass Budew. Still something we need to test out on the channel as well. Then, moving forward, there's a super unique Dragapult Blaziken EX deck that did well. I think Blaziken EX also has not been released yet over here in the West, but we will get it soon. This is going to be allowing you to accelerate energies, and then Dragapult can just attack quite easily. Again, playing the Lily's Clefairy EX to deal with opposing Dragon-type Pokemon. If I'm taking a look at like the amount of Dragapults we've seen, the amount of Charizards we've seen, and the amount of Raging Bolt, you can say that those are currently the best decks post-rotation. Okay, there's a Gardevoir. Second place Gardevoir. Doesn't play another draw engine. It plays more research, as to be expected. So Gardevoir still good. You have to just play more draw support because you no longer have Curlias to rely upon. And this actually plays 4 candy. So you're having a very aggressive Gardevoir with a lot of Earthen Vessel. And again, if you do compact with the Lily's Clefairy, you do have an easy way to deal with a big Dragapult EX. Okay, what do we see here? A Dragapult with Xatu, Charizard with Noctowl, classic Goldango with Togekiss, with the Budew, and the Stadium to get back Lightning energies. So Goldango also seems to be fine post-rotation, as we currently see it. Not a lot of and Zoroark. I think people are navigating towards the things they are used to or accustomed to. So here is Zoroark getting the first place dub, also coming back with the Patcharand for, of course, having the access to some retreat options. And also note to think about is like with the Ents PP up, you're gonna be able to accelerate the Pokemon up quite easy with Darkness Energy, so you can attack with Zoroark quite easily. You can snipe because of the Darmanitan. You can slap huge damage if you get damage with the Reshiram. So yeah, it's the total package. Also Power Glass could help in the early leads, definitely with the high amount of Arven being played. Okay. Another Gardevoir, so Gardevoir is slowly but steadily finding its way with the Grand Tree. Grand Tree Gardevoir, so you're having instantly access to Drifloon to strike huge damage. Bravery Charm also still part of the plan, so Gardevoir players rejoice. It is not going to be over for you quite yet. Okay, Hokkaido over in the north and Japan, we see Dragapult with Xatu. Most of these cards are something we've seen before. An Ents Zoroark also coming pretty standard here. Everything has free retreat, by the way, so you can put the Gravity Gemstone to trap opponents while you have free retreat, which is totally awesome. A Raging Bolt with Noctowl Engine with Latias, so that's going to be the most popular way to do it. Kanagawa, Charizard winning. It's a Charizard list with Cleffa. Lots of Arven. This is actually something I imagined the Charizard deck to look like moving forward. It's probably something I could get behind because you're playing TM Evo, you're playing Cleffa, you're playing Precious Trolley. That's for me the perfect way to do so. You're having answers to Budew with the help of TM Evo, and you still have the 4 candy. So this is probably something I would be rocking as well. Then there is another wall deck with Milotic, Noivern, Iron Thorns, Cornerstone. The cool thing with this 60, or actually with this archetype, is that opponents now no longer have Cologne. So in the past, like top tier decks like Regidrago VSTAR had easy access to these because of cards like the Canceling Cologne, but that actually will rotate, making walling a little bit more of an option. Also stuff like Radiant Charizard has rotated, which makes this walling archetype way better than it used to be. Okay, then we have Zacian finals, both of them facing off against each other. There's actually playing Monkey Dory. Did you see a lot of Monkey Dory post-rotation Ceruledge decks and decks like these, so at Gardevoir as well. So Monkey Dory is yeah, definitely one of the stars from the upcoming post-rotation format. Makes sense, because if people play Budew, you can easily punish them with a Monkey Dory, which is awesome. Crazy amount of damage, as mentioned, with the hop, and you can power up for the second attack with Archaludon. Okay. We're going to be looking a little bit further. There's still so many tournaments to be taken a look at, but we already have a little bit of an understanding what this last couple of days have looked like. We see our Archaludon with some more gusting, a Blizzy EX Monkey Dory, so with Fairy Giraffe as well as Milotic and the Wellspring. So Not the Wellspring, the Cornerstone. So very cool. There's a new item card here, exchange ticket. So you can see what is in the prizes. So that's gonna actually not see what you can change your prizes, which is awesome if one of your one-offs is prized. So that's interesting for sure. We also see one of these decks with the Voltorb. Voltorb slapping 20 damage for every lightning energy attached to all of your Ionos Pokemon. And with the Ionos Bellibolt, you just drop them down. So pretty much Chimpow a little bit. You do have a low amount of hit points, so if you're up against something like a Dragapult, you're definitely going to be in a very crazy position. Any unique decks? For now, we're just going to check out the unique decks. There's a Milotic Fairy Giraffe, so Wall still doing fine. What else do we see? Ogie Dogie. Okay, Ogie Dogie deck. Let's go. Love to see stuff like this. Also with the Tinglu and the Legacy Energy. Love to see that crazy deck building skills. Okay, we see a Mamoswine. All right, it's something we have not seen before with Blaziken and Dragapult and Pidgeot. And oh wow, this is like somebody dropped their binder and then they added in the Ace Pack Grand Tree, and that's pretty much the deck. Okay. For those of those that don't know what Mamoswine does, 180 plus 40 more for each of your bench stage 2 Pokemon. So you need to get. It also comes back with an ability to get a Pokemon instantly from the deck to the hand. So you want to just get as many stage 2 Pokemon as possible. And with stuff like TM Evo in the beginning and then getting Candy Plays, and having Luxray. This deck is wild. Like, what is all of this? Apparently it worked out and they were able to take down the tournament. Very interesting. More Milotics. Let's check out this cool looking Azumarill Noctowl deck, and with the Cornerstone, so you can actually slap that down, use Noctowl, do some stuff. Neutralization Zone, very scary for opponents not having an answer for that. Yo, Azumarill, who would have thought? People are testing out all sorts of wild stuff, but a lot of Raging Bolt winning. It does make sense because Raging Bolt is consistent, fast, and allows you to actually deal with almost anything. Future Box might return to the format. It's the first time I'm actually seeing it do well, getting a top 4 in a city league over in Japan, but I have my doubts there. Ceruledge, okay, there's a Zoroark, Roaring Moon deck, okay. So the thing is clear. You go for Sada and you E-switch, and then this is the draw power, I suppose, but it actually states choose one of your bench ends Pokemon, and there's only this guy, so it's just for draw power, right? And yeah, you only have 2 E-switches, 1 attachment of the turn. This feels pretty weird, I'm not gonna lie. You do have the cycling road to get some energies discarded, but still. Without Dark Patch, it seems pretty bad. It would have been better to see ends PP up with, of course, the E-switch combo, that would have been interesting. We see this deck again, the Archaludon Hops Zacian, Rigged Band for your Archaludon, so it's more tanky than ever before. Super Rod, actually Super Potion comes back, so note to self. There is another binder drop here, Greninja EX with Flareon EX, with Leafeon EX, with a Pidgeot in there. Like, how does this deck function? Is it because Noctowl can find anything you want from the deck? Very, very crazy indeed, but I think a lot of things come clear here. There's an Alakazam, believe it or not, getting first place. Being able to copy-paste attacks from the bench. You can copy-paste. The cool thing is that the weakness of every Dragon-type Pokemon is now Psychic, so that's actually super cool. So if you're up against Dragapult or Raging Bolt, it seems pretty nice. Okay, I think I've seen enough of the post-rotation, so my conclusions are the following. Gardevoir EX is not dead, so maybe we can take a look at the decks that are currently being played. So Regidrago VSTAR is gone, we know that. Charizard is still going to be a tier A deck. It is adaptable and it uses TM Evo or sometimes even Grand Tree. Raging Bolt still performing really well, comes back with a Cornerstone for specific matchups like Charizard, and you can also have Latias for some free retreat. Even though Radiant Greninja and Pokestop is rotated, Regidrago will still live on. Lugia has rotated. Terrapagos by itself, no longer a deck, but sometimes you see it in combination with Charizard, which is actually a very cool thing because now Terrapagos will be able to hit the 240 number. We see Gardevoir still hanging in there. It adapts a little bit. Sometimes you're playing a heavy amount of Rare Candy. Sometimes you're playing a heavy amount of Earthen Vessel to get those energies. Sometimes you even play Brilliant Blender. So Gardevoir still around. It's going to be like a tier B deck, but still people are testing it out. Clove is pretty dead without DTE. Dragapult still going to be a tier A deck, and it is paired around with Xatu, sometimes with Dusknoir, sometimes even with Pidgeot. So the deck is still around, doesn't lose all that much. Block is gone. Palkia is gone. Goldango is also on the low end of the tier. It is still around, but it is not performing quite reasonably. It's like on the same tier as Gardevoir. Archaludon being paired up with Hops Zacian is super cool. That's going to be a new archetype doing really well. Lost Box is gone. Roaring Moon doesn't perform all too well without the dark patches. Iron Thorn sees play in walling archetypes like Milotic, Cornerstone. All of those will get combined with walling archetypes. We see Control is no longer around. All the control cards have been rotating about Silene. There are still control cards around, but it's not functioning anymore as of late. Maybe it's because Japan is playing best of one, but people will find a way to bring back control, even though we've lost a lot of cards. Like Misfortune Sister is gone, all that, but there's still Eerie, which is a powerful card, so who knows. Ancient Box hasn't seen all of that. Miraidon haven't seen too much of that over in Japan. We also saw no gouging fires. Magma Basin is gone, so that makes sense. Ceruledge sometimes sees its play. You can, of course, play the Brilliant Blender and go crazy and get a lot of energies in the Dragapult to go crazy. And we also haven't seen Chimpao, Baxcalibur. We have seen Greninja EX in some sort of a stage 2 binder drop. Ogie Dogie was a tiny bit around, but it's pretty weak, and that's pretty much it. So there's new archetypes, Iono's Bellibolt as well, so definitely a lot of great things to look forward to. Let me know how you feel about post-rotation. This has been the post-rotation preparation video, so you guys know what is going to be good. And yeah, let me know in the comments down below which deck are you going to be prepping or putting time into after rotation hits. I want to hear your opinions down below, and if you enjoyed the video, let me know by rocking the hell out of the like button. It only takes one tiny second of your time. And if you're looking for product, be sure to check out my sponsors. They are definitely what make the daily content possible. DragonShield.com for your sleeves, binders, and deck boxes. Use that coupon Decklists5 and get 5% off your order. TC Evolutions for your damage counters and ability tokens. 10% off using the coupon TCG. PokemonStore.com for your TCG Live code card needs. You can get them with instant email delivery and 5% off as well. Cardmarket.com lastly, for European players who are able to buy as well as sell cards to people all across Europe. Use the referral name TCG to help support the channel. Thanks a lot for watching today's upload, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for more Pokemon TCG content. Peace!